Okay, guys, just gonna go through a couple things here. If you're with me, if you've been following, I've been nailing some calls. We're gonna do some charting. We're gonna go through some coins. We're gonna look at a couple different calls that I've made in the past. I'm gonna point out a couple things going on with crypto right now. Haven't been able to make a lot of videos, so this is going to all be live. Just bear with me. It's getting kind of late over here. It's about 11 p.m. Maybe doing this till about 1 in the morning. If you join and you learn something, that's great. If you don't, can't really help you too much. So the first thing I want to take a look at is some of these old calls, and we're going to look at this 1 week Bitcoin lifetime chart that I made quite some time ago. This chart just basically shows this trend or this parallel channel that Bitcoin has been in basically its existence in the entire time Bitcoin has ever existed. And it goes up to this red line, it comes down to this green line, it comes up to this red line, it goes down to this green line. This time around, which was like the 2001 bull market, it did not make it past this white line up to this red line. It was the first time that did not happen. Also, it's the first time we actually really came down and stuck around this green line. Not only did we come stick around this green line, but if we extend out, I know it's hard to see with this here, but we actually went below this green line right here and just recently used it as resistance one time, and now we bounce back down and we're about to move back up towards this. I'm gonna take this. Remember, this was made all the way back in July 2022, but I think I may even have a further one with that chart on it. Let me see. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah, all the way down here, um, July 31st, 2022. So that's back in 2022, but let's go to the newer one. So what I ended up doing here is I added in this blue line, which this blue line kind of corresponds where we held support this time after breaking in this green line. Then what I did is I went ahead and measured out the increase in percentage and the amount of time it took for us to go through this 2017 halving. What I also did is I did the same for the 2021. I'm sorry, halving. I mean bull market. What I also did that for the same thing. So for the 2017 bull market, I took out the complete move up and the amount of time it took to get there. I measured that. I created this square. I did the same thing for 2021. We took these squares over here, and this was back in May, June, right towards the end of May, beginning of June. I went ahead and I added these squares according to the amount of time they took from the bottom of the bear markets, both the bottom of the bear markets, the absolute bottom. I counted the days. All right, I counted the days. I took that average, counted the days, and this is where we began our moves. Now, the cool thing about this is if we finish this purple box where we finish this purple box, this puts us at a target of approximately $431,000, and we finish at a timeline. I believe it was. Let me see here. I believe it was somewhere in June or August with this one. All right. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was the October one because this one went a little bit longer than the yellow one. So the purple box goes to somewhere about October 2025. It puts us finishing at $431,000. As you can see, we are holding this support still. We did attempt to break this green line that was our support for the longest time. We got rejected off of it, but we went back down to our support level, and we are still holding this. Let me just let you see this a little bit better, a little bit bigger. Okay. Spread this out a bit more. All right. So you guys can see we have held this trend. Now, if we move up to here, like I said, $431,000. If we somehow do a push like we did in 2017 It's gonna put us all the way up somewhere where $2 million, 2,100,000, somewhere around there, which is kind of outlandish and it's kind of crazy. But I guess that would be like our super cycle, right? Since everybody's getting in, which would be amazing. You know what? I'll take this line. I'll take this line. Even if we just make it like back up to this green line at the end of this purple box, that's $195,000. Even if we just play around in this trend until we break down, I'm fine with that. Either way, upwards seems to be the way that we go. I am a little concerned about this stochastic RSI pulling back down a little bit, however, and the RSI is at a reasonable spot for us to continue to go. So we're gonna be looking at breaking this $72,000, $75,000 range, and maybe shooting up to this $97,000 range. If we can break this, the next line is $157,000. If we go all the way to the end of this move at that line, you're looking at somewhere around $320,000, $330,000. So I'm thinking that there is a potential chance for a big move up still with Bitcoin, but not if we don't break the $72,000 range. If we don't break this $72,000 and shoot right up to 80, there's a good chance that this could just be a double top, and that could be it for another 4 years, which would be a shame. But it is what it is. It's not, things can't go up forever, guys, as much as we want them to. Now, a couple other things I want to point out. Guys, I don't know if you're following or if you're asking any questions or if anybody's even there. I'm just doing what I'm doing. These are things that I was going to have to look at and do anyway. I'm just letting you join in because I haven't really had a chance to make a lot of videos. So, next thing we got here, I called a Head and Shoulders, inverted Head and Shoulders. This was back in August of 2023. I thought that we'd do a pattern something like this and create a Head and Shoulders right here at a similar area. If I press this play button, you can see we did go up and down just slightly there, but that's not where our Head and Shoulders level is starting to form. Our Head and Shoulders level is actually starting to form all the way up here, and it's going to be slanted Head and Shoulders, and that's pointing in an upwards direction, which means it should even be more of a bullish Head and Shoulders. So there's a good potential chance this can shoot us up to our 100 or at least our 97K that we were looking at hitting on the other chart. As you can see, guys, this is an old chart, and we're still right around the area that I said we should be in. Now, if we continue to go up, to some of these other ideas that I have called, with the majority of them being right on the money, I tell you, it's amazing. People say you can't follow the charts, but I would beg to differ. So one of my most recent ones, I literally, right? So Bitcoin, as you can see, this is the inverted Head and Shoulders. If you squeeze it up a little bit, it's much easier to see that it's an inverted Head and Shoulders. But for the time being, we're just going to spread this out a lot so you can see better. I want to show you something. This is a 1 week chart. That means every single one of these candles is going to be 1 week long. All right. And if you look here, I just drew these lines. Okay. I just drew it in. And if I press this play button and see what happened, over the last few weeks, we've literally used my line as that I drawn ahead of time as support and resistance, right? Support and resistance. Just because you get a basic idea of the movement and how Bitcoin moves, it gets simpler and simpler to predict as time goes on, especially the larger formations that you see and the larger time frames that you use. Again, July 12th. And I would say that the majority of these weeks, Bitcoin touched the line that I predicted it moving in. So let's hope it continues to move in this line as this line is going up. Maybe if we break it, we do shoot up and make a huge move up. All right. I got a bunch of other calls on my Twitter and stuff, but let's stop with the calls. We'll teach you guys how to do some charting so you can predict some of this stuff like me. Let's see what we got here. Let's start with Bitcoin. All right. So here's one of my favorite Bitcoin charts. This has a special indicator in the background. You'll notice it has red and green. The green is what I like to call my bullish weeks, and the red is what I like to call my bearish weeks for this particular strategy. And during this strategy, you're actually looking for a time to sell during the bullish weeks, and you're looking for a time to buy during the bearish weeks. And if you really look and take a look at how this works, so the red, like I said, is the bearish weeks. So we would have entered somewhere, anywhere around here. Uh, we would have picked a spot to buy in, trying to figure out when it looked like it was bottoming out and when it looked like it was starting to reverse. So I probably would have waited till this candle closed and then this candle closed and this candle closed, kind of confirmed the move up. Even and then I would have probably waited for the confirmation of the retest, which would have brought us somewhere around here. So realistically, maybe not at the bottom or the top of either one of these candles, but somewhere around the middle, right? So I would have bought around the 61,000, probably 61,500 when I seen that confirmed, and or probably like right around this green line that I have in my chart. That makes sense too, right? So I personally would have been buying around this area based on my strategy of buying around uh, the bear weeks, right? So from that point on, I would have bought, we'll say 61,000. Boom, boom, boom. Went all the way up, all the way up. Once this green candle comes, or I like to say a day before this, so we would have been like right here, is usually the start of what I like to call the bull weeks. And during the bull weeks, we usually have way more upside. So I would have had an opportunity to sell here right as we were entering the bull weeks, and I would have been selling at approximately $70,000, $71,000 at the highest we were. Or if I would have actually waited for the second opportunity after we used this as a support and bounce back up, I would have had an option to once again sell at $71,000, $72,000. And from the sell from there, we wait until we get back into our bear weeks, bring us down, bring us down, bring us down, bring us down. We were still going down. I would have probably ended up buying somewhere along here on the bear weeks. Okay, so that puts us around 62,000. And it's like, uh-oh, guys, because you see, the bull weeks come. And in the bull weeks this time around, it would have went down even further, but I had a buy zone right here. So likely I would have waited for this buy zone, knowing that the bear weeks hadn't finished. I'm sorry, and I would have bought down low here. But even if you bought here, right, no worries, because that's still $62,000. During the bull weeks, we went all the way down to $58,000 and then still shot back up to $63,000, $65,000. So you still had an opportunity to get out of your $62,000 purchase at a win. So once again, this is a close to, we'll consider a lose, but so far this is the only one that was even close. However, we still would have been selling, right? So we knowing that the bear weeks are entering, we would have been selling. We would have entered right around here. We would have looked for a bottoming. We would have easily seen this bottoming because you have this RSI that's bottoming out on this trend that we drew. So based on being in the bear weeks, seeing these two big, huge wicks, we probably would have bought somewhere around here. All right, buy around here. Soon as these bull weeks come back, bam, we're selling. We had two opportunities to sell, much higher and much higher. If we sell, we're waiting for our bear weeks again, and we had great opportunities to buy. Once the bull weeks came back, we had great opportunities to sell, and so on and so on and so forth and so forth. So this has been working very well. We also factor in other things. As you can see, we have an RSI trend here. We like to buy when the RSI is at the bottom. That makes a lot of sense. When we have a dip, we buy. When it shoots up, we're selling. There's a couple other indicators that we factor into this trade. Now, based on this trade, what's going to happen next? Or based on this chart, I should say. So the daily is starting to get a little oversold. It's the first time it's been like that in quite some time. However, we are just entering the bull weeks. We do have a very strong resistance line here at about $69,000. This held a support over here. It also held as a resistance right here. So we're going to be looking to break this $69,000. If we can't break this $69,000, as of right now, the old sell zone, which is between $66,000 and $67,000, is going to be the new support level. I expect us to bounce around in between that 67 to 66, in that $69,000 range, hopefully holding some support and trying to break this line. Now, however, if we don't break this line before we start getting back into the bear weeks, I expect us to come back down and we're going to retest some of these levels. We can easily go back down to the 63,500 level that we've been having a lot of difficulties with. That's a good place for us to hold some support, and that would be fine. We could even fall all the way down to this breakout of our trend, which is going to be almost back into my buy zone one more time, guys. We've hit this buy zone so many times, and we've hit this sell zone so many times. But it looks like we might be coming back down here, maybe where this meets over here, right back down to the $60,000 level range. I would not be surprised. But the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking to see if we make this move up first, okay? If we get rejected hard off of $69,000 and then come below $67,000 and we don't hold that 66 level, look for a good chance we're going all the way back down to that $60,000 mark, especially if it happens over the course of a week or so. So just keep that in mind. That's where I'm expecting Bitcoin to go right now. The first thing that we're going to be checking is, can it break the 69,000 level, hold it as a support? If it can, then it's off to the races. If not, we're going to be looking to hold this old sell zone, which I guess now would be the buy zone until it's broken. And if it does break, we're probably going to catch the end of this buy zone one more time as we bounce off of this downward trend we were in for support. If that happens, we're likely coming back down here and bouncing off of this orange line one more time as well. Let's take a look at another chart. Actually, what we got to do, guys, is we're going to screenshot this chart and we're going to give ChatGPT the opportunity to look at it and tell you what it thinks, similar to what I just did. Now, my personal ChatGPT I have programmed, I've been working with it a lot. It kind of already knows what I expect out of it. I expect it to be a trading guru. I expect for it to look at a lot of different things. I expect for it to make some predictions. I expect for it not to be too risky. And it has been doing very good. Me and ChatGPT will give you our different opinions, and you could take them both. You could take one or the other. But the last, what I would say, 3 to 5 calls, we've both been very accurate. I beat them about 3 out of the last 5, and one time its buy got picked up and my buy didn't get picked up. So it got me on that one. But other than that, my profit margins have been much better. It's, like I said, it's built to be a little bit less risky. But bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. We know how that works. So looking at this chart, we just finished an Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we were to come back down and retest any of these moving averages, you'll be looking at 66,000 as a support. You'll be looking at 63,500 as a support. And you're going to be looking at 62,500 as a support. Like I said, realistically, we're going to be paying attention to that 67 to 66,000 range. We wanted to minimum hold that. Okay. Next Bitcoin chart we're going to look at. Actually, this chart is specifically for ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to give me charts that it would like to look at and specific indicators, and this is what it asked me for. So we will save this for me to give it to that, and we'll go on to the next BTC chart. Here we go with a Madrid ribbon, as well as some additional trend lines. So as you can see, we have broken out of this ribbon. If you look down here, usually a breakout of this ribbon is pretty bullish, especially once it's red. As you can see here, it went red for a little bit. We broke out. We went all the way from $26,000, slow grind over many months, all the way up to $50,000. So it's double the price before we even went back down for the most part. So once we went back down, we went from 50 all the way to the bottom of this to about 38,000. Then we shot up from 38,000 all the way up to our most recent local high, which is about $74,000. From there, we bounced in between these lines and we came back down, and we have double topped. Now we've consolidated all this time, and this was a lot of time. If you look on a higher time frame, this looks like a huge bull flag. So that's pretty good. We like to see patterns like that, right? And over here, we're just starting to break back up. So if we can break some of these higher time frame levels and bounce off of here and use this as some support, imagine if we make a move like we did here from here, that would be amazing. We're looking at roughly about 150%. So if we were to make a 150% move from here, that would put us, sheesh guys, sheesh guys. 150% move from here puts us at about $171,000 if we did a similar move that we did from here to here last time we came out of the red to this time. It's a nice little move, guys. So don't sleep on Bitcoin right now. It's not time for that, that's for sure. If we look at just some of the basic lower time frame things here, it's kind of looking on the 8 hour, and I like to use the 8 hour for just my midterm trades that I do about 1 to 2 a month. I do some very large trades using my bullish and bear weeks, sometimes about 80% of my portfolio. It's just been that accurate. Here you can see a nice little W pattern that formed, and we shot up. Are we going to come down and use the top of this for support and then continue up from there? That would be great. But our stochastic RSI on the 8 hour is showing that we're getting some bearish momentum. If both of these lines come down below here, it is likely that we will make it somewhere down here. So that's just going to pull the price down, but it's okay because we have our supports. As long as we hold that $60,000 level of the downtrend that we're in, I'm not concerned with us pulling back right now. I'd like to see us move up more while we're in the bull weeks and then come back down in the bear weeks, but we'll see how the cookie crumbles. If you go on to my next chart here, we have just basic pivot points. So you can see they usually come down and use these lines as a support and a resistance, and you can kind of tell what's been going on. Here you can see they use this right here as a resistance, which basically trying to get past that resistance ended up forming a double bottom, and you can see a W shape here once again forming. We just went past our second resistance. Our third resistance is going to be that $70,000 level. Right now the current support it shows here is the $67,000 level. As I said, lots of different indicators point to the same type of pricing. It is kind of easy to start predicting things once you get an idea and a hang of these charts. Let's see. So let's just take one more of these screenshots. Let's give this to ChatGPT. And then enough of my analysis for a moment of two. And we'll get some ChatGPT analysis for you guys and see if it compares or how it compares. So how we're going to do that. Like I said, this is all live, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. Wasn't really planning on doing it like this, but you guys haven't been getting as many videos as you should from me. I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's there. If you are there, appreciate you. You will get some good insight from this, I promise. Calls have been on the money for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been very successful. I don't charge, for my videos or my calls or my charts, and I post them all on Twitter and I post them all over the place. So go ahead and make sure you follow. I'm going to go ahead and look for this chart. analysis, and we can take it from there. Sorry guys, I do a lot of work with this thing. Let's see here. I don't know if this is the right one. Let's try to go a little bit further. All right. Well, let's just hope this is gonna have my strategy built in. Let me ask if it knows my strategy. So we asked if it knows my Bitcoin strategy. And it appears it does. I don't know what it's talking about here. Market phases, analysis style. I'm not sure if this is the one that we're going to use, but let's give it the charts and see what it comes up with. What do you think? Let's give it some of these charts that we just took today. See what it's going to do with them. Let's analyze these. Don't worry, guys. We're going to have it read this to you. So let me just mute this for a second.
Based on the images you've provided, I'll break down and analyze the Bitcoin charts. Hashgraph first chart analysis daily chart. 1. Price movement. Bitcoin is trading near $68,500, approaching a significant resistance zone between $69,000 and $70,000. This resistance level is likely to pose a challenge, as it historically acted as a ceiling. The chart shows an upward price trend, but the proximity to the resistance zone suggests potential slowing or rejection at this level. 2. Support and resistance. Resistance levels. Immediate resistance at $63,500, 0.236 Fibonacci level. A critical resistance zone exists between $69,000 and $70,000. Support levels. 62,584 is a key support area, visible through Fibonacci retracement lines. Further down, around $60,086 and $58,000, there are stronger support zones indicated by previous price actions and Fibonacci retracement levels. 3. Indicators. RSI. The RSI appears to be trending upward but nearing overbought territory, which could suggest potential exhaustion in the current rally. If it crosses 70, there could be a reversal or at least a consolidation phase. Volume. Increasing volume during the current move up shows strength in the upward momentum, but a volume spike near resistance could indicate a blow-off top. 4. Chart patterns. Ascending channel. Bitcoin is within an upward sloping channel, suggesting continued bullish momentum as long as it stays within this range. Fibonacci levels. Bitcoin is holding near the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement at $63,520, and if it breaks above $69,000, the next target could be $70,000 plus. Hashner second chart analysis, 8-hour chart. 1. Price movement. Bitcoin is currently trading around $68,600, and the chart shows a series of pivots indicating price consolidation and subsequent breakouts. 2. RSI. The RSI is shown with clear labels for pivots, bearish and bullish, indicating potential entry and exit signals. The RSI is nearing the overbought region above 70, signaling caution for long entries as a short-term pullback could occur. 3. Stochastic oscillator. The stochastic oscillator at the bottom is also showing signs of entering overbought territory, further suggesting a pullback could be imminent in the short term. 4. Key zones. The price previously found pivots around $60,000 and $61,000 and $66,500, making these important areas for both support and resistance. Near-term resistance remains around $69,000, with a potential rejection if overbought signals materialize. Third chart analysis, 8-hour chart with Ichimoku Cloud. 1. Price movement. Bitcoin is trading within an upward trend, currently sitting near $68,000. 2. Ichimoku Cloud. The price has broken through the upper boundary of the Ichimoku Cloud, confirming a strong bullish trend. As long as Bitcoin remains above the cloud, the upward momentum is intact. However, approaching resistance levels at $69,000 and $70,000 could pose challenges. 3. Volume oscillator. The volume oscillator at the bottom of the chart shows increasing volume, signaling growing momentum behind this price movement. This supports the bullish case but should be monitored for a potential spike or sharp decline near resistance. 4. OBV, on balance volume. The OBV is trending upward, supporting the current bullish price movement. This suggests that buying pressure is still strong, but monitoring for divergence between price can help detect an upcoming reversal. Summary of analysis. Resistance. Bitcoin is approaching a critical resistance level around $69,000 to $70,000, a zone that has historically acted as a major top. If Bitcoin can break through this zone, it could indicate a continuation of the bullish trend. Failure to break through this level could lead to a rejection or consolidation. Support. Key support areas are around 62,500, 60,086, and deeper at 58,000, which aligns with Fibonacci retracement levels and historical price action. Indicators, RSI and stochastic oscillator, both are nearing overbought levels, suggesting caution as a potential pullback or consolidation may be ahead. Ichimoku Cloud. Bitcoin is above the cloud, confirming the bullish trend, but a move below the cloud would signal potential weakness. Conclusion. In the short term, there is strong bullish momentum, but the proximity to resistance and overbought indicators signal caution. A pullback from $69,000 or $70,000 is possible, which could offer a better entry point around $60,000. Traders should watch for RSI and stochastic overbought signals to assess whether the trend will continue or reverse. Would you like me to dive deeper into any particular aspects of the analysis?
No, that's good for now. All right, so as you can see, ChatGPT kind of had similar numbers to me. Sometimes I also have it use my strategy and see if there's a difference while using my strategy. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to jump into some altcoins and we're going to see what's going on. Now, I made a pretty significant play in Render. For those of you that have been following me, that follow my Twitter, that follow my TikTok, A Plus Crypto guys, go follow. I did call Render when it first came out. I called Render for a while. I called Render from 40 cents to $2 and then back down to 40. I think it was back down to 40 cents again, and then up to like $4 or $6 and change, and then back down to $2 again. And guys, then it went all the way up to $14. Now I've been around this game for a while. I bought some Cardano initially. Yeah. I bought some ADA. I know. But it was many years ago, and I bought it for a penny. I bought about $300 worth. Turned into about $9,000. That was one of the things that helped me start my crypto trading and basically changed my life. So now I'm here, and when I do my charts, I put the information out there for you guys. And not because I try to sell anything or get you to sign up, but I want you to make some money too. If you only you guys knew how I grew up, how broke I was. Eesh, yeesh, and I don't wish that for anybody. But anyway, so let's take a look at render. Okay, we'll go to the daily. As you can see, render is looking a little bearish. Um, I have been buying render in this zone right here of about $6. Well, I've been doing it about $6.50 or so, and I've been buying back in around $5, and it's been working pretty well, making that $1.50. I usually sell about 1,000 render at a time. Um, if I do that at about 650 and I buy back at $5, usually making about $1,500 on that trade. But as you can see, it moves up and down pretty reasonably at a reasonable pace. As August 24th to about September 24th, over the course of a month, it's not that bad. It goes up and down more than that. I like to try to be in some reasonable trades, whether in the bull market or the bear market. If we're in the bull market, I won't sell as much when I'm shorting. And if I'm in the bear market, then I won't buy as much when I'm longing. But I still try to make them trades. My strategy works very well, so I will continue to use it until it proves otherwise. And right now we are at about 92%. So let's see what's going to happen with Render. Render is one of my bullish coins. I think it's going to do good this run. It already has. I expect it to go back to its all-time high and make a new one. So as of right now, if it did that, that would be about a 3x. It is not bad for a guarantee play. And nothing in life is guarantee, but this is one of the up there coins that is going to at least go back to its all-time high. As you can see right now on the 8-hour, which I like to use more than the daily, 4 hour is even better for short-term plays. The problem is the lower you go, the higher chance you have a fake out. Like, look at all these fake outs, fake outs, fake outs, fake outs, fake outs, fake outs. It looks like it's going to go down. You get the indicator that's going to go down or up, and it just really doesn't, right? Once you get down to the 8-hour, there's still some fake outs, but you can see there's usually less of them. Sorry, guys. Oof, it's getting late. And as you go further up to the daily, you'll see even, well, go a little bit further than that. Go to the 2-day, you get even like less fake outs, right? Here's just kind of been a big fake out. There's been a lot of volatility. Honestly, to me, it just looks like render is kind of like bottoming out. Looks a little bit similar to this right here, what it did after the end of this move. And if it does pull something like it did last time, then we got a long way to go. And that's nice to see. I like to see this thing just go up crazy again. And as you can see, there has been a lot of consolidating at this level, so I do expect it to go up to a decent level. Whew. The first place that you're going to be looking for render to have to break before we can talk about anything else is going to be the $7 range. It keeps making it to the 650 to like 680 level, but it cannot get to this $7 range. Once we break $7 and use it as a support, the next major level we're going to have to break is probably going to be about $8. We're going to call it $8.50. Once it breaks $8.50, look for it to shoot up to try to make a new high. I do expect a lot of bouncing up and down. As you can see, the crypto market does not just go straight up. Every now and then you get them weeks, but for the most part, it does not go straight up, guys. So don't expect that. This chart is pretty negative when all of them things are or bearish, I should say. When all of these things are green, then that means yay in the market for whatever you're buying, and everything should shoot back up. But as you can see, I like to see consolidation. I like to see higher lows. I like to see us not breaking down. However, we did lose our trend here. And you know what they say, the trend is your friend till the end. So when you break the trend, it does get a little upsetting. I do expect us, if we are going to break this trend, for us to have one more dip and at least break this 40 level. Lots of times this RSI, anytime it actually, I should say, this RSI gets around the 43, 44, it's more than likely, I would say about 90% of the time, that it's going to break that 40 level. However, if it goes down to 39, I actually consider this RSI reset, and then it could be working its way all the way to the top. But because it has not broke that level yet, I do expect it to be working its way down to the 39. So I would probably expect a lower low coming for render, um, even if Bitcoin becomes a little bullish. Let's take a look at Sol. Sol, once again, we got a bit bull flag going on. I guess at this point it's just consolidation, but the more you zoom in, the more you can see it's more like a bull flag. So if we do this like a bull flag, bring this here, do something like this, and we'll call it like that. It actually looks like it's on the verge of breaking out of it. All right, so let's see how the market goes. We could bounce in between like this 158 level and this 128 level. And as you can see, this does go down, right? So it's okay if we get a little bit lower. Look for us not to try to break 128. If we break 128 and start using this as a resistance, that's a problem, guys. We do not want to see this to become a resistance, because then it's very likely we're going to come down to at least maybe the $100 range. Ooh. Which for me would be really good. That's a good buy-in zone. I'm all for Sol right now. I was buying down here. I was screaming at everybody to buy down here. I was really screaming at everybody to buy down here. There's a couple times in crypto, this bear market, that I try to tell you guys, like, go sell your car, sell everything but your kids, and just put it into crypto. And as you can see, you had a long time to do it. And if you did, you made out amazing already on this. You got more than a 10x easy. But what are we looking for to happen? So the more this plays out, the higher chance it has going up. There's a good chance that it could shoot up to the $200 range easily, even the $240 range, and try to find support between 240 and 200. We'll see if that ends up happening with Sol or not. If we go here, just our regular pivot points, looks like we're working our way up to, if we hold this 155 as a support, we're on too low of a time frame. Let's go here. If we hold this 155 as support, we're looking at 161, 162 for our resistance. Our next resistance would be 171. And the main pivot point we're trying to hold to continue our move up is going to be about the 145, 150 region. If we can do that, continue to work our way up, that's great for all Sol holders. Sol has been one of the coins that has not come down as much when everything else is dipping. I don't know if that means that the buyers are more intent on keeping their Sol until this price goes up. I don't know if the community is stronger. I'm really not sure what's going on with Sol and why that's happening, but I am paying close attention to that. You can go to a list of some other coins that I'm tracking. Let's take a look and see how they're doing. Let's go to a chart I like to use. And let's pull up. Got render. All right, this is a low cap coin. This coin is called Alchemex. I like this coin. I'm not telling you to invest in this coin. I never tell anybody to invest in anything. Do your own research, as always. But situation with this coin is what you can do with it. You can go to its website, and what they'll do is they'll let you store your Ethereum, store your Bitcoin, store your Solana there, and they'll give you 50% of whatever you store in USD to trade on their platform. So basically what that means is if you want to hodl, you can go ahead and put, say, $1,000 of Bitcoin or Ethereum there. They'll give you 500 USDT. You can go buy $500 worth of Sol there, sit on it while everything goes up, cash out your Sol, pay your BTC loan back, and then go ahead and take the money out from both. So you get an extra 50% of your money if you plan on hodling anyway. And that's pretty cool. Worst comes to worst, The most that you can lose is the amount that you borrow. You lose the money, you have to pay it back out of what you have there, which is the other 50%. So that's how that works. I don't borrow or do a loan there, even though I like the idea. I don't need to. I've been doing good with crypto for many years already, but I am investing in this coin. Now, let me show you why. If you just take a look at these larger charts, all right, um, here you can see at one point, it's not even showing it at this chart, but this coin came out in the middle of the bull market. It came out for a few $100s and went all the way up to $11,000 at one point. Some markets have it at, or some exchanges have it at $4,000, but it had a huge, crazy huge market cap at one point. That market cap has since dropped significantly. I do like the total supply is already out on the token. There's a lot of good things just about the way the token's made, but from its all-time high, it went all the way down to like $8 or something. Okay, and since then, it's already been up to $48, and then came all the way back down to $10 again. Currently, it's at about $15, and I am accumulating this thing still. I do plan on accumulating this thing as one of the altcoins I plan on riding, the low cap coins, into the bull market. And we'll see how that works out for me. So let's go to the next coin. I'm not just going to do all my low caps, guys, because I don't really want you guys to get involved in low caps unless you know what you're doing. Let's go with stuff that it's going to be easier for you to trade and make money. So here we go. Here's Avalanche. So Avalanche, we're looking for it to break this $36,000 resistance, right? This is going to be huge if we can get past this and use it for support. The next level is about $54, so it's a good 40-45% increase. So a good thing to do if you're interested in playing Avalanche, you can start accumulating now for long term, or if you want to do a short term trade, you can either wait till we get to this level and see if we get rejected. It's $37,000 level. If we get rejected, it's a good opportunity for a short. If we go ahead and break this level, I would wait till we come down and make sure we hold it as support. If we do hold it as support, then you'll be able to enter a long, and I would be cashing that long out somewhere around $54. But I do expect Avalanche to do really good during this market. They're basically turning into the backbone of a video game coin, which is pretty cool. There is a lot of stuff that's being worked on, and I think everybody is kind of sleeping on Avalanche. Personally, I'm accumulating it, and I hope it does something similar to what Sol did last year. Let's switch up this chart a little bit, use some different tools for the next bit of stuff we're going to do. What do I want to use? I guess we'll just keep it. All right, let's go to Filecoin. See what Filecoin is doing. So Filecoin is bouncing in between our support and our resistance right now. It's actually retraced all the way down to the 1 on the Fibonacci scale, which is pretty crazy. We're looking at it bouncing between $4.74 and $3. Once it breaks that $4.70, 75-cent level, if it can hold it as support, then we can start working our way up to these other lines. $6, about $6 being the next one, followed by, you see how it goes. And then when we start getting up to these top levels, what we're going to be looking at is hopefully reaching up here and going even up to this $11 level, breaking that $11 level, and then continuing on during the bull market. It's great to see all of this consolidation right here that is not going below this level. This tells me this is a good area to buy in, especially considering the point where the overall market is in. Let's go on to DOT. I think a lot of people are sleeping on DOT. DOT is another one. Also did a full fib retracement during this bearish downtrend that we've been in. This is a downtrend right here. We appear to be breaking out of it just looking from the naked eye. Let's go ahead and draw it out though. Bam, there we go. So as you can see, if you look here, resistance, 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 support, support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, resistance and support, resistance and support. So this is a nice line that we have here, okay? The more touches you get, the better your line is. This has a lot of touches, so it means that this is a pretty solid trend that's been happening. Now, as you can see, we went up, we broke out of our downtrend, and we have went up to this $5 level and touched it twice, getting rejected both times. We did come down from this $5 trend last time, and we broke back into the downtrend. We broke out here, we broke back into the downtrend. Then we finally broke out hard, we came down, and now we're using this downtrend as a support. Guys, what I like to consider this is like a ceiling. The resistance is like a ceiling, your support is like the floor. What usually happens, right, is the harder you shoot up at it, the harder of a shot is at the ceiling, and the more likely you are to break that ceiling. Also, the more times you hit the ceiling, the more chance there is to break it. So on the third chance, there's a higher chance than on the second chance, and so on and so forth. But the same thing does work like that for the floor. If you come straight crashing down, it makes it easier to break through your floor. If you hit it multiple times, it makes it easier for you to break it on the next time. And that's how I like to look at support and resistance. So if you're not familiar with support and resistance, that's exactly how you should look at it. If you don't know how to draw a Fibonacci retracement, it's actually pretty easy. You go ahead and there's a fib retracement tool. You take that, and I'm not going to do it right now because it's here, but you go to your recent low, your low before your last big move up. Now, some people might consider it here. Some people might consider it from here to here a move. It depends on what you're looking at. Me personally, I don't know why. Oh, I probably drew this on a different time frame. It will also make a difference what time frame you're on, how these lines turn out for you. As you can see here, I'm at the top on the daily, but during the 8 hour, it's not necessarily the same Fibonacci extension because the closes are different and it's supposed to be by the close. But if you look at this line, it still ends up being a reasonable trend. So it does show us some support and some resistance. So I will leave that line where it is. That's fine. But the whole point is when you draw this Fibonacci, you're going to come from the bottom and draw it to the top. And as you can see in the daily, this does look more like a single move with one big pullback and then a continuation move up. So by drawing this Fibonacci line, it's going to give you these lines here for retracement. Now, it's very common for us to come back down to these retracement levels and either use them as a support or break through them and use them as a resistance the next time around while we do some consolidating. Consolidating means we're going to be moving to the side, basically up and down, but basically a sideways pattern in between two different prices. And usually what that is, that's like the coiling up of a slinky. The more we consolidate and get stuck in between them ranges, the further higher we can go up. So now I just learned something, hopefully. If you do know that stuff already, great. I'm happy for you. And you're probably making money in this market. But if you don't, that's some important things for you to remember. So back to this, we are breaking out of this downtrend. We are working our way up on our RSI. Our MACD has just flipped green. So there are a lot of bullish indicators happening right now for DOT. Next thing though, first thing first, we have to break this $5 region. Then you can shoot up to about $6.26. So let's go on to another coin. Pick a coin, pick a coin, pick a coin, guys. Let's take a look at Link. I know everybody's kind of lost interest in Chainlink a little bit, has been dwindling down. First thing first with Chainlink, we're sitting at about 1150. Our main resistance is going to be about 1250. If we can break that and use it as support, great thing is the resistance above that is about $20. So this is a good 46, 47% off the top of my head increase, which is a great gain, guys. So now might be a good time to start building an entry since we are working our way up on the RSI and on the MACD and looking to pay attention once we break this $12 or $12.50 range. If we continue to shoot up past it, or do we come back down and try to hold it and then break below it? If we do break below it, that would be a good time to get out of that trade. But if you do get in now and we break through this and go here, you're looking at a good 100% increase of your money almost. You cannot go wrong with that. So Chainlink, although people are underestimating Chainlink short term, it looks like it's setting up for a good trade. On long term, it also doesn't look too bad. As you can see here, we consolidated it here. We worked down a lot. But one of the fantastic things that you should know is this pattern. It's a little ugly, but we do have, if this starts shooting up here to this line, an inverted head and shoulders. So that means if it does shoot up to this $20 range and it breaks out, it can break out easily to like this $40 or $52 level without a problem. So that's a very good thing. It's a big increase on money. It's a big increase on your profit. And it's not something that can't happen because it's been at that range already. So Chainlink is setting up nicely here. It even on the weekly RSI, it did just cross. If it stays above this yellow line and starts working its way up, I'm kind of expecting fireworks from this coin based on this long-term chart. Now, if we do shrink it a little bit down to a more local time frame, I'm probably kind of expecting the same thing. I'm expecting us to go up and attempt to break this level. It's 1250. Use it as a support and see if we can hold it and then potentially start working our way up to that $21 level. The the RSI does look pretty good, and we just got a cross on the MACD, so that's looking pretty bullish. I know we gotta have some XRP peeps out there, so let's take a look at XRP and what's going on here. Looks like we are in between a range already. Does look like we're using this 66 cents, 65 cent as a very critical resistance. We should draw a line here. What about here? Bing, bang, boom. There we go. Oops. So we're using likely about this. We can go a little bit lower. There we go. So we're using this line right here at about 64, 65 cents as a critical resistance zone. We are going to need to break that. As of right now, though, we have hit it several times. So hopefully this ceiling is getting weak. On the flip side, we have hit this floor a couple times too. And this floor is right about 50 cents. So right now, we're looking to either come back down or retouch this 50 cents one more time, or we're going to be trying to break the 65 cents. If we break the 65 cents and start using it as support, we can easily go up to 80 cents from there. The charts tell me the same thing. Let's back out a little bit though and see how the long-term charts are looking for this coin. All right. Now there's a lot of consolidation that's been going on with XRP in this 85 cent to 50 cent level, which is not a bad thing. I am a little concerned about this pattern. It does go up a little bit. Well, it was actually a parallel channel, it appears, that we broke down from. So that makes me a little bit less concerned, actually. Situation is because we did break out of it already and we did hold support, we could potentially be working our way up into a new pattern. Let me just show you where I just see this parallel channel at. We can probably go like this and then down to here. But maybe we want to extend this further just in case we end up back in it, right? Check it out. So here you can see we did spike above it, and it's okay when you draw a line if you have some spikes above because there are wicks for moves. You just want to make sure that you don't have too many bodies closing above your lines unless the bodies are closing at a point where your lines are forming a support rather than a resistance or a resistance rather than a support. So basically you can be using your lines either way, like you see it does right here. It uses this line as support, 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 but also use it as resistance, 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 resistance. All right, so where are we at right now? We were in this upward trend. Upward trends usually do break down. We did break down out of this upward trend. Now we're using the bottom of this as a resistance. We are consolidating between this 50 cent and this 70 cent range. Let's hope that we build up enough momentum for this MACD to switch to green, for us to go back above this yellow line as we go up to the 70. And if we do, we can make a push up to the top of this channel once again, which would put us somewhere, if we made it all the way back up there this time, actually around $1.40, which would be a pretty high move for XRP. Let's take a look at ICP, guys. ICP is very underrated as well. There's a lot of projects that are built on ICP. ICP is being used, and me being a developer, ICP is one of the easier things to develop on for crypto. So I do invest in ICP. Now, what has ICP done recently? ICP, unlike some of the other coins that we just looked at, has not went all the way back down to the 1 and lost all of its gains. It did hold the 786, which is a lot more bullish than going back down to the 1. That means it let people keep all of the gains that they made from $3 all the way up to $7 almost. So it's about 100%, well, more than 100% gains. That's wonderful. Now we're still in this bottom level zone. So all of this is a good buying opportunity until we break lower. If we do break lower, then your buying opportunity may be all the way back down here. But honestly, guys, I do not see that happening, okay? So in the short term, we are working our way up. We're going to see that our resistance is about at $9.75. If we can hold that $9.75, we're looking to go up to 11 and then looking to go up to about 14. Now, one of the cool things about this coin right here as well is, as you can see, it did initially come out in a bull market, and this coin came down significantly. You know, this coin was at one point a couple $100. So maybe you get lucky, you buy in at 8, and even if you can sell this at $80, that's a 10x on your money. So that's turning $100 into $1,000. That's turning $1,000 into $10,000. You can't go wrong, guys. Don't work for money. Work to get money so you can put money somewhere where that money's going to work for you. Consider money like your employee. And then once you got enough employees working for you, you do not have to work anymore. Remember that. Let's see what else is going on. What else you want to look at here? We're going to take a look at FET. All right, FET, great coin. Like FET, I've been invested in this coin since 21 cents. Listen, you don't have to buy any coins that I mentioned. I'm just going through the charts on coins that I like to look at to see how they're doing overall, short term and long term. Like I said, I make trades probably on a monthly basis. I get into longs and shorts. So let's go ahead and look at FET and see what the current situation is. Over a weekly time frame, FET is looking pretty good. As you can see, we did have a nice little pullback here, come all the way down. We did flip this MACD, we did flip this RSI, and we are working our way up. We also were in an upward channel, and we broke out of that downwards, and now we are making a new upward channel, which usually also does break down. Let's go to the daily and see how we're making out, see what our indicators are telling us. on the daily. I don't have a fib done on this one. I'm not sure why not. Um, let's see how we want to look at this move. Go to the 2 day. Alright, that makes it a little bit easier to call this the move. So we're going to call this the move here. Get our fib tool. We're going to go to the bottom. We're going to work our way up to the top. Bam. And that's a pretty big move, actually. And as you can see, why do we use this tool, guys? Why do we use this tool, right? Because once we did this tool right to the top, this gave us support and resistance levels. Let's zoom in on these support and resistance levels and see why we should be using fib tools. Here we go. Went up here, it came down. It really tried hard, if you can see. Look at these candles, guys. Look at these candles. It tries hard to use these levels as a support. And then once it did break through, every time it broke through, it shot down fast. Went back up, broke through, shot up fast. Went back down, shot through fast. Went back up, shot up fast. And so on and so forth. Every time we break up hard. And every time we come down hard. Once we get to the next level, we played around this level. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right at these levels. And then look at the next line, we played at these levels. At the next line, we play at these levels. And these are very important levels. As you can see, this was the bottom. We did wick down a little bit, but basically this line was the bottom. And how did I get that line? I got that line just simply by using a tool that's on the chart and drawing from the bottom to the top of the move. And it provided me with all the informations to watch out for. Levels that I should be buying and selling at to make short-term trades or to look for when the reversal is going to happen. You want to look for the reversal to happen around this line or this line. It happened right at our 786 level, and this coin is also in the process on this chart of making it inverted head and shoulders. I figured I'd go to the daily so it's a little bit easier to see. Here you go, a shoulder. You got your head, and you're forming another shoulder. So if this breaks up to this line and breaks out, it could very easily go from where it's at right now at the $1.30 range to $2.60 and beyond. I think I'm going to kind of wrap it up. I hope you guys got some info and some knowledge from me today. I hope you took these prices that I'm giving you in the charts, taking them into consideration. I don't know if you're buying or selling or getting into the market or getting out of the market, but if you do want to start following me, that would be wonderful. Click that subscribe button. I don't have as many followers as I should. I told everybody to buy Bitcoin first originally when Bitcoin was around $2,000 or $3,000. I told everybody to sell their Bitcoin around 22,000, around, well, realistically it was probably more like around 18,000. Told everybody to buy back in when we came down to 6,000. Then when we hit 4,000, crashed and for COVID. Told everybody to buy on the way up all the way to 60, 70K. Once we came down from 70K or 64, 5K the second time, I realized that we were not going to be going up anymore. I seen the double top, and around once we broke the 60,000 level and started getting into the 50,000s, that's when I told everybody to sell. Once again, I came back in at the $17,000, $18,000 range when we first hit that mark. Told everybody, all right, get your bags out, time to start buying. From there, we went up to 28K. We took some profit. We went all the way back because I knew we were oversold. We went all the way back down to 50K. I put on a suit just to go yell at you guys and tell you, like, buy. Like, go sell your car. Go sell your collectibles. Go sell your gold. Go buy Bitcoin. From there, we went from 15,000 all the way up to 70,000. So you're looking at a good 5x on your money. All I can say is you guys should be following. I make some pretty ridiculous calls. My brain operates funny. I do computer program and do computer programming and security and stuff. And I don't know. I just look at these charts and I can easily see stuff. So please join. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok, YouTube, wherever you're watching this. And come back for some more.